Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel. Adam Gulick says, good evening, people. Only the best evening people around here. I get that. Great evening people around here. How you doing, Adam? I've had a weird-ass day. And this is a great way to great way to sort of put a conclusion on it. So here are the options that are coming to mind. We've got Has in the communist tier list. We've got Keffels talking about Caleb Maupin. It's really fascinating how the people in the sort of debate chud sphere are like the only people who are able to make fucking Caleb Maupin look good. So that could be interesting, especially his dark secrets. Like, what more dark secrets do you need? Like, I mean, there's the Nazgul thing. He's pretty open about the fact that he's a big fucking transphobe at this point. Not sure exactly what secrets have been exposed. I mean, the whole fucking extremely exploitative cult shit, that kind of dropped a while ago. Then we've got Xanderhole talking about how Thought Slime posted cringe. We're going to hear Xanderhole apparently lecture us on economics, a subject he totally is not totally ignorant of. Let's see. Why the right can't debate from Fosh. And this was just some shit that showed up in my recommendations just now. From Concordia University, which is a name that kind of rings a bell. This is Israel Studies After October 7th, and the thumbnail says it's about understanding the Zionist idea. Bonsoir. So, I mean, I'm kind of inclining towards either the communist tier list with Haz's punk ass, or Thought Slime posted cringe again. But I'm willing to entertain alternatives. Totally willing to entertain alternatives. Yes. If these are both shorts, we can let's start out with Haz. Fuck it. We don't do much Haz around here, and Haz is just bizarre.
We are bringing back our biggest discounts of the year.
Wait a second, why have I got no sound?
50% off new annual Daily Wire Plus memberships.
We've made huge investments in entertainment.
Oh, because my
documentary.
What I'm gonna do tonight is we're gonna be ranking communists. So let's get to it. We're gonna be ranking famous communists.
And see, you can be sure that Haz is objective on this, because there's no way that he would end up on a ranking of communists, because he's not a communist. But he plays one on YouTube.
And oh boy, I'm excited to do this. All right, let's do it. Okay, so this is just like they put all the best ones in. Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, Mao. In that.
This is Die Arbeiter von Wien. I know that this is the Russian version of Die Arbeiter von Wien. Okay. So he starts out with Marx and Engels. Well, there's a controversial choice right there. Then he moves on to Lenin. I mean, so far this is like about as spicy as an unsalted baked potato. Stalin. I mean, we knew that was coming, I'm pretty sure. Mao. Yeah, nothing terribly surprising yet.
That order. I don't think anyone else is gonna make it up there, to be honest. I'm pretty convinced no one else is gonna make it. Now, Chairman Gonzalo is going to E,
Oh, yeah.
which is generous because I should give him an F, but I'm giving him E. And the reason I'm gonna...
Yeah, what? You're gonna give the guy with the fucking death cult? Yeah, of course, it's Haz. Of course he's gonna give fucking Gonzalo.
give him an E is because he's kind of this interesting Kantian fanatic. And he did boil babies alive and shit, but is he worse than Gorbachev? I don't know. You know, probably not. Khrushchev is actually going into F, okay? Oh, Brezhnev. I think
Wait, okay. Khrushchev goes into F.
Brezhnev is C tier. I don't hate Brezhnev. I think Brezhnev. I have a relative sympathy for Brezhnev for some
Like,
reason.
is he gonna get into? Is it just gonna be him just talking like this? Like, okay, so what exactly is your problem with? Well, we know his problem with Khrushchev because they had the fucking 25th Party Congress, and they said, yeah, actually, Stalin got up to some fucked up shit. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. And he just does not. He will not forgive Khrushchev for that. Even given that Khrushchev, well, it wasn't actually Khrushchev himself, but it was under, on his watch that one of various U.S. attempts to basically blow up the world failed.
I just think Brezhnev was a little red pill.
Actually, that was Vasiliev.
On his whole orientation. He's kind of a hardliner a little bit, and I don't know the Brezhnev era. I like Soviet stagnation, Tarkovsky, all that. I like the stagnation. This is just
Yeah, I'm really unsurprised that he likes stagnation.
so obvious. He's going last. Yuri Andropov, is that him? I don't know. Probably D. This guy, Chernenko. I don't know that too much about him. Okay. Malenkov. I think Malenkov should go.
Okay, is he gonna? Is this all this is gonna be? Is just him sort of not even really saying anything much?
C tier. Because he failed. He failed to beat Khrushchev. I can't really give him a B or an A because I like winners. Malenkov wasn't a winner. Molotov is in the same boat. Voroshilov.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Molotov at least has a fucking cocktail named after him. Wait, I mean, not that like, well. Yeah, I can see how the guy whose name is on the, possibly the absolute worst diplomatic disaster in Soviet history would be somebody who would actually somehow manage to beat Khrushchev and Gorbachev, for Haz. Because, I mean, he made a deal with Nazis that was harmful to basically everyone but Nazis. That sounds like the sort of thing Haz would be into.
That's a B tier if I ever saw one. If not an A tier. I mean, I'm close to having it be A. Maybe I'll move him up, you know? Trotsky's F. I mean, that's an F, right? I mean, how do you get worse than Gorbachev? You just beat Trotsky. Sverdlov, B tier. Bukharin. I'm gonna put him before Trotsky because I think Bukharin is, it's in this order, like Khrushchev, then Bukharin, then Gorbachev, then Trotsky. In that order. Zinoviev, I think, right there. Karl Radek. I'll just put him right there.
So basically, so anyone who, like, explicitly is on the record dissenting from Stalinism immediately ends up on the F tier. That's what the deal here is. I'm terribly shocked.
There. Kalinin, good guy. Krupskaya. Now, I'm tempted to put her in C. As far as historical greatness is concerned, you know, not too sure about that one. Rosa Luxemburg. Alright, this one's gonna be tough because it's either gonna be C or B, and you know what it's looking like to me? It's looking like, because she never got it. I like Luxemburg. She's a hero. She's a heroic martyr. But,
yeah, who also probably wouldn't have been on side with Stalin, actually. I mean, like, basically, the Freikorps and the Social Democrats in Germany, by assassinating her, saved her from being put in F tier by Haz. Yeah, I mean, it is the most shocking thing I've heard since, liberals are trying to give Joe Biden credit for the ceasefire that isn't.
I don't like valorizing. Karl Liebknecht. I'll put him above Brezhnev. Why not?
Liebknecht.
Kautsky, E. Probably better than Chairman Gonzalo here. You know what?
Which is interesting, because Lenin specifically... okay, I would expect him to be guided by the fact that Lenin referred to Kautsky as an enemy of the working class. But then, I mean, Haz is an enemy of the working class as well. But so... okay...
What? Kautsky deserves a little better. I'll put him right there. I'll put him here, okay? Because he did found the Second International and Without that, Lenin wouldn't be a thing. I can't read these. Chernikov. Who the fuck is this? Valko Chernikov. Is that Czech Republic?
Chervinkov, not Chernikov. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Although, I mean, he's better read than Caleb Maupin. I must give him that. His takes are fucking wild bullshit. But he clearly he gives more evidence of having done the reading than Caleb Maupin has, which doesn't take much. So I wouldn't be surprised if he knows a little bit about her, but he's still, like, the fact that she, I think this really comes down to, both with Liebknecht and with Luxemburg, that they died before Stalin took over, so there was never, in fact, so there was never any chance for them to dissent from him.
Chernikov. Bulgaria. Alright, I don't know who the fuck he is. So for those that I can't have much of an... Wait, he's under the Stalinist Bulgaria, right? I'll put him here then. He can go right here. Otto Grotwald. Is this a German Stalinist politician? Let me see. Yep, he's gonna be up there with Mr. Valko. Wilhelm... I don't know, like, how...
Wilhelm Pieck. He doesn't know anything about East Germany. We are learning quite a bit about the narrowness of his knowledge of just Soviet shit. Because these are two of the best known East German leaders. Wilhelm Pieck, who was already a thing. Actually, he was a major leader of the German Communist Party, back in the 20s and 30s already. He just like Stalinists, and then Kautsky for some reason. I mean, who was like a fucking revisionist. Let me see, who else has he got on here? Okay, so Kim Il-sung. It'll be interesting to see what he does with Kim Il-sung, because Stalin tried to have Kim Il-sung killed in the 20s or 30s. I bet he doesn't know that. Will he know Honecker? I see Honecker right there. And Kim Yo-jong, what's even on there? There's like very little known about anything she actually does. She mostly just shows up with her brother, Kim Jong-un. Maxim Gorky.
An opinion I'm supposed to have on this guy. He's a German Stalinist. Okay, what was he known for? I don't know. I don't feel like these people belong on the list. They're not like relevant enough. I'm gonna keep them off the list. All right, Enver Hoxha.
They're not relevant because he's never heard of them. I mean, I'm not standing any of them. Like the early the early East German leaders included, they put down a fucking working class revolt at one point. So, yeah, I mean, not standing them. But it is telling that his knowledge of this stuff is so limited that even some of the best-known leaders of the German Democratic Republic he's never heard of. Like, he is really just completely narrow focus to a few widely published communists of the early 20th century, and then just, like, Soviet bureaucrats. I wonder if Kollontai even makes his list. That'll be interesting. I mean, and if she makes his list, incidentally, I can say this with some authority, having spent most of this past year translating her. That will be the absolute definitive fucking proof that he has not read her.
Put Enver Hoxha right here. You know what? He's going here. I like Hoxha. He's going right here. I want to put, like, thinkers who had some historical significance, not just, like, random politicians. Rakosi.
Wait a second, but they've mostly been random politicians, though.
Because of 56 Hungary, he's somewhat relevant, I guess. But he failed. I'll put him here. I hope I didn't get that confused.
Rakosi, not Rakosi.
I'm pretty sure he was the hardliner, right?
Motiash, Rakosi.
Yeah, he was
Rakosi, Motiash.
Good, I'll put him there. Dimitrov is B. Is that fair? I think B tier. Because he was a writer, after all, right? Or, you know what? For the memes, I'll put him in A. Kim Jong-il. I respect him. I'll put him here. Fine, B tier. Kim Jong-un.
Wait, okay, Kim Jong-un is going...
I'll put him a little bit above his father. Right there.
Wow, okay. Based on what exactly? Like, I would be actually really quite shocked to hear him know anything about the DPRK.
There, in B tier. Kim, don't know who she is. She's his sister, but, like... I don't know what she's known for, what she's...
Oh, okay. He's right. Like, he's basically... Kim Yo-jong is basically only known for being Kim Jong-un's sister. I mean, she kind of accompanies him. There's a whole, in the sort of DPRK watch air community thing about trying to work out what it means if she is or isn't at a particular event or some shit. I mean, she has occasionally been, like, the point person for a few official statements, including one basically telling the U.S. to fuck off about something. I forget what. It might have been about the joint military exercises. That's a common topic that they tell the U.S. to fuck off over. But, I mean, and... you know, some people have wildly speculated that maybe she's meant to be Kim Jong-un's successor or something like that, but I mean, he's not wrong not to know that much about her. There's not a whole lot that is known.
It's all about. Like, what are her policies and shit? I don't know what her stance is. You know, what
Nobody knows what anybody's policies in the DPRK are other than fucking the Central Committee of the Workers' Party and its chairman, Kim Jong-un. Like, literally, there is a legal document that says the only people who are allowed to express conclusions are, like, the leader. So, you know, they made some modifications under Kim Jong-un. They're sort of trying to phase out a little bit the personality cult, just a little bit. But, you know, in fits and starts. But, I mean, literally... we cannot really say for sure what anybody's policies are other than him. Because, basically, nobody gets to really express any views that directly contradict him. And everybody kind of is on a little bit of eggshells because sometimes even, like, I mean, a guy by the name of Jang Sung-taek, early on in Kim Jong-un's years, actually got executed. The whole thing was covered on television. Like, including they read the charge sheet in full on television, because he was suspected of planning a leadership challenge in the party to replace Kim Jong-un. Which, I mean, would have even actually made a fair bit of sense as a decision, because the guy was way more experienced, was extremely respected. I mean, he wasn't, like, a guy who was 26 and whose entire experience was, like, his dad took him to work.
What is her position? I have no fucking idea, right? I have no idea what her position is.
It varies from day to day.
What she's all about, what she wants. Kim Il-sung. Ooh, okay. This one is gonna be pretty high up. At the top of B. Zhu Enlai was an outstanding...
Zhu Enlai.
Politician. I'll put him here. You know,
I can't even pronounce these fucking names right.
Yeah, Zhu Enlai, great guy. She's not worse than Trotsky, but I'm gonna put her here. Mao made a huge mistake promoting the shit out of her, and yeah, big mistake. I'll let her stand it.
Who else have we got? Okay, Chavez, Kirov, Egon Krenz. Okay, we'll see. If he does not know Wilhelm Pieck and Otto Grotewohl, there's no way he's gonna know Egon Krenz. He was one of the last leaders of the German Democratic Republic. Let's see, Maurice Bishop. Be also kind of shocked. Oh, James Connolly. Connolly, by the way, if you're looking for some really good reading, hey, River Rune. Amazing, like, really brilliant historical and theoretical work, and very engaging and readable. Check out James Connolly's Socialism and the Rebellion in Ireland. I mean, that book is just full of stuff, just beautifully done analysis. Well, we're missing... what you've just missed is he doesn't know shit about the GDR, basically.
In for the whole Gang of Four. How about that? Ho Chi Minh. You know what? I'll put Ho Chi Minh right there. He's, like, perfect there. He's very overrated, in my view, because, look, I like Ho Chi Minh, I just hate all the people who fucking... it's just like Thomas Sankara. It's like all the people who just fucking glorify the shit out of him are usually all my enemies. So...
okay, so basically that is his other criterion. If, like, people who don't like his reactionary fake communist ass, like somebody like Sankara, or say Ho Chi Minh, he's, like, specifically putting Ho Chi Minh down there out of spite because he doesn't like Luna.
I'm not ranking him that high up, you know? Sorry. I like Ho Chi Minh, but my perception is warped by American leftists. Okay, so this is... Yeah, that's...
Except the person he just complained about is a Vietnamese Marxist-Leninist. Like, the person he specifically pointed out that he doesn't like Ho Chi Minh because she likes him is a Vietnamese ML. Like, the exact sort of person that if he were legit, he would totally be on side with.
Even negotiable, okay? That's not even negotiable. James Connolly. Connolly was there. James Connolly was there. I'll put him right after Ho Chi Minh. Eric, Walter, Ulbricht, and Honecker. We can't do both of them. We have to choose one. I'll choose Honecker, and I'll just say, kind of cucked out a little bit. You know what? I don't like this fucking guy. He's like, yeah, don't like him. Is he worse than Khrushchev? No, he's just cucked. All right, I can't wait to do this one. Fidel Castro's right here, okay? I like Fidel a lot, but he's no Che Guevara, and also he's the father of Justin Trudeau, which doesn't make me happy. Maurice Bishop.
Also, Fidel rather famously issued a really genuine apology for the shittiness of the Cuban Revolution towards LGBT people in the first couple of decades of it, which probably does not make Haz's heart sing.
Was Maurice Bishop an anti-revisionist?
Does he even know who Maurice Bishop was?
I don't remember. He was like Fidel, but he didn't succeed, right? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, he was the leader of the New Jewel movement. He got elected into government in Jamaica. The U.S. immediately overthrew him.
He was he? Well, nothing against him, but winning is a must. All right. Allende is.
Wait a second. Winning is a must, motherfucker. None of these people won. Well, I mean, okay, Ho Chi Minh won in definitely some respects, but, like, I mean, Stalin didn't win. Like, all of these people in the CPSU, the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, they definitely didn't win because Soviet Union collapsed. Like, that had a lot of factors, but the one thing that it cannot be called is them winning. Let me see. Same thing with, Gonzalo, definitely not. I mean, like anyone in East Germany, yeah, those motherfuckers didn't win.
It's really fucking bad. I hate Allende, actually. Fuck him. Alright, Che Giga Chad is going right here. Che Guevara. Why? Because he wanted to fucking launch the nukes. That's why. Because this was a man with balls, alright? This was an anti-revisionist, sided with China. He's better than Fidel. Way better. Love Che Guevara. Absolutely giga-based. And he gets A tier. You know, I'm kind of tempted.
Like, I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if he knew anything about Allende.
First of all, Gorky's gonna go here, and then, yeah. Based. Hugo Chavez, right there. Perfect. Right at the end of B tier, we have to credit the Chavismo. This guy is, put him right here, not bad. Actually,
Ceausescu, it's worth noting, was being bankrolled by the U.S.
him here. Tito goes here because he was horrible in office, but his accomplishments during World War II cannot be underwritten. Kirov, I'm not gonna rank because it's just not.
Kirov?
It's kind of arbitrary because it's like, you know, Kaganovich is the Stalin groupie. I know I already ranked Molotov and Malenkov. It's too late, right? Daniel Ortega, right there. Malcolm X.
Ortega, who, I mean, just made deal after deal with the far right in order to get back in office. Yeah, that sounds like the kind of guy that Haz would be into.
Actually, I mean, okay, if I put Malcolm X up here, I gotta put Kim Il-sung up here. Huey Newton. Nope, not having it. Sorry.
Not surprised.
I'm not gonna totally write him off, but really overrated. And Huey was a little unhinged. He was a little unhinged. A little bit not all there from what I...
Wait, I mean, that's now a criteria because I can't help noticing... You got a few people who are, I mean, a little bit unhinged on here.
No. MLK, he'll go there. I hate this so much. She's worse than Bukharin, yeah. You know what? She's worse than... She's second to... The only thing worse than Angela Davis is Trotsky. Only thing worse than Angela Davis is fucking Trotsky, alright? Deng is up here. 100%.
Oh, yeah, okay, yes, because there's nothing revisionist about, like, literally just bringing in... creating a whole fucking capitalist class. in China. There's nothing remotely revisionist about that. I mean, and let's just leave aside the fact that China actually armed Pinochet, amongst other things. They actually have backed U.S. imperialism in Latin America a number of times. Hello, Phoenix.
You know what? I'm putting him right here. No, this is perfect. I love this. Because it's like chronological. Mao, then Pol Pot, then Deng.
Yeah, I mean, this is just fucking shock value. I mean, that, and he's just a scumbag. Well, I mean, like, Pol Pot didn't win. In fact, Ho Chi Minh kicked Pol Pot's ass. That's how Pol Pot went out. I mean, and the U.S. was backing him at the time. Yeah, no, I think we're seeing exactly how he ends up at the top of A tier above Che Guevara. I mean, and aside from that, Pol Pot was not even, I mean, no fucking communist. He was a nasty-ass ethno-nationalist who believed in the superiority of ethnic Cambodian blood. I haven't seen Beria on here.
It's like perfect, right? That's good stuff. Zheng's...
Jiang Zemin. Let me see. Ahmad Saadat. Seamus Costello. One of the official IRA. Mandela. Gramsci. He's gonna hate Gramsci. Ernst Thälmann. I'll be impressed if he knows who that is.
Man, I got a soft spot for him. Put him right there. Hu Jintao. That's where he belongs. Xi Jinping. No, I think this is good. No, this is good. This is pretty good. Can't wait to put this guy. I'll put him here. Is he better or worse than... Yeah, I hate all the people that just...
Wait, is it me? Is it... It's interesting how, like, everybody black on here is ending up in the ass end of C tier.
Shut the fuck up.
Not surprising, given who's making this list. But...
Oh, Lin Bao. I already put... She's like... Yeah, he's a fucking bastard. Fuck him. I'll put him right here. Alright, do I piss off the Somalis and just say, like... I can't put him... I'll put him right here. No one gets mad. Ooh, Ernest Thälmann, I feel like is deserving. So
it's not Ernest Thälmann, it's Ernst Thälmann.
Didn't win, which is a problem, but I'll still put him here because of his immortal memory. Gramsci, as a theorist, he just sat in jail all day, but he contributed a lot to theory. So
okay, I'm legit surprised that he's actually gonna give Gramsci C tier.
Give him that. I'll put him right there. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck, I fucked this whole thing up. Put him in B. Season.
Hey, you fuck everything up. That really shouldn't surprise you.
Just don't give a shit about him. How about that?
I've never heard of him.
Gonzalo. You know, I'll put Sisson right there. Yeah, I'll put him here. Sure. I feel like this is kind of covered by Mao. You know, the cult of...
Okay, who else have we got? Taisto Sinisalo, Ibrahim Kaipakaya, Taro Majumdar, Edward Limonov. How's Limonov on the fucking communist tier list? He's like literally the founder of the Nazbol. Well, this is the kind of communist tier list that a guy like fucking Has uses. That's why he's on there. Limonov. Nothing to do with anything. He's just fash.
And stuff. Mandela. I should probably be explaining these, right? Mandela sold out at the end, and we can't forget that. That's
I mean, he's not wrong there. Mandela did fucking sell out at the end. Beria isn't on here. I mean, maybe they kicked off Beria in order to make room for Edward Limonov, who is just who's just fash. I mean, like, not even pretending to be anything else.
That's Mandela. Ezhov, you know what? To just epitomize the excesses of the 30s, I will put this horrible guy right here. Should I do Beria?
Beria is here.
George Habash. I think he's perfect there. He was never in power, but he's better than MLK and Huey Newton. See, like, you guys have to understand my logic.
Well, I mean, it seems like part of his logic very much is that nobody black can get above C tier.
If you were in power, that boosts your chance to be ranked higher a lot. Because
that totally fits. Wait, Hafez and Bashar al-Assad and Saddam Hussein are on this list? None of them ever claimed to be communists. I mean, okay, so, yeah. So if they were in control of the capitalist state, that immediately moves them up. That does sound like the sort of thing Has would use as a criterion.
It's
Not
you
what
want.
they did.
Something about you is worth learning from. If you were in power, that means more than if you weren't in power. Now, obviously, sometimes people who are not in power can be above people who were in power, but that's
often, in fact, because usually the thing about people in power is a lot of them suck.
because they're very exceptional individuals in terms of their contribution. Should I put Corbyn? Yeah, Corbyn is less worse than Jiang King or whatever. Less worse. Yeah, I'm gonna piss off all the fucking Maoists with this one. But Corbyn, at least, like in the beginning, wasn't that horrible. To be honest, in the beginning,
He was actually, I mean, again, weird communist tier list, because Corbyn was just a fucking lukewarm social democrat. I mean, he was nothing. Like, he was absolutely just completely irrelevant on the left in Britain until the Labour Party needed to rebrand themselves. And so they let him run in the leadership contest. And then he completely swept the thing, and the entire Labour Party bureaucracy shit the bed and spent the rest of the time trying to sabotage Labour's election chances so that they could have an excuse to get rid of him. I mean, but he was like, I mean, the fact that they were freaking out over Jeremy Corbyn just shows how far right they'd moved, because the guy was a mild centrist social democrat. Like, he wasn't even proposing to get rid of all of the worst shit that had happened with, like, the benefit system that is responsible for, over 100,000 deaths in, like, the first few years of it. He wasn't even talking about getting rid of all of that, just kind of watering it down. Corbyn is massively overrated. I mean, he definitely doesn't belong on a communist tier list. But I guess if Limonov gets to be on there, then we're not taking it all that precisely.
I think he wasn't that bad, you know? Matter of fact, put him right before Kollontai. Nah, fuck it, I'll put him. Fuck him, I'm so sick of him. He failed. It's like, in the beginning, he would be up here, but then he failed, so I'm putting him here. Jay Sakai. It's so hard. I hate Angela Davis. No, Angela Davis is worse. Nothing beats her. You know what? I'll put Gorbachev is worse. Settler is worse. It's like, not on Gorbachev or...
Sorry. Tissue. Who else have we got on here? A bunch of Finnish people who I will be shocked if he knows.
Angela Davis or Trotsky level. This guy was a hero. He was a really good hero. I'll put him right there. It's kind of insulting, isn't it? But it's like, C is not bad. It's just like, alright, fine, I'll just put him right here. Fuck. Lemon?
Like, okay. Is there any... Wait a second.
Is better than Sisson. And, okay, he's not as good as Mandela, but he's better than Sisson. Both, so they'll be together in a happy marriage together. Alright,
So, it is very clearly a Has tier list, because he's got a Nazi in a higher tier than, say, Salvador Allende, or, you know, even Zinoviev or somebody like that. Like, is there anyone... anyone above C tier who isn't white?
Yeah, Gaddafi. Where's Gaddafi? Where did he fucking go? Where did he go? Oh, he's in F? Gaddafi's not here. Oh.
He was there.
Alright. Get him out of there. I think Gaddafi's here. No, he's here. Perfect. This is perfect. Gaddafi's there. And I'm gonna tell you why, alright? I'm gonna tell you, like, how I'm judging this, and what...
Okay, yeah, that's right. He's got some Chinese people in B tier. Oh, wait, no, Malcolm X is in A tier. It's interesting that Malcolm X would be in A tier, but the Panthers, he's got... the one representative of the Panthers, he's got way the fuck down.
What my paradigm is. Alright, so I'm gonna explain it like this, right? So Gaddafi...
He lives someplace in fucking Michigan.
Is like, he was a martyr, United States of Africa visionary. Gaddafi was a visionary and a great leader, right? But why do I think Hugo Chavez is better than Gaddafi? Because...
because Hugo Chavez didn't have, like... a really creepy system of sexual torture, and didn't invite the U.S. and fucking Tony Blair to come in to help him set up neoliberalism in Libya in his last few years?
Because Chavez offered a model of mass organization that pushed the threshold of socialism.
I always get this fucking backwards. I mean, both the the people who are trying to sort of smear Venezuela from the right, and the people who are, well, in his case, like, praising Venezuela from the right. It is not that Chavez invented the mass organizations. The mass organizations invented him, really. Like, to the extent that, I mean, after the attempted coup in, like, 2002, it was them that brought him back to power. I mean, like, literally, he would have been completely screwed, except that you had this mass organization that was already there, that had been growing for some time, well before he actually got elected in the first place, and immediately responded. As is in Michigan someplace.
This revolutionary strategy beyond what anyone else had done. And that actually somewhat tempts me to put him here. Because these are great leaders, don't get me wrong, but as far as what they have contributed to those of us who are not in power looking for paradigms and strategies, like Chavez was the first populist. That's the Chavismo. You know what? Chavez will go after...
No, he wasn't. I mean... Allende, if you're going to say that, if that's your standard, then Allende would obviously be the first one. And it's very interesting that, that Chavez actually is moved up higher than Allende in that sense. Because Allende did the same sort of thing. It was the same, he invented the idea of, like, social, electorally attained social democracy as a vehicle for socialism, and kind of... he was the proof that that shit just doesn't actually work really well. That you're almost certainly going to end up with with all the problems that you would have had if you had if you had not gone the electoral route, and some additional problems that are created specifically by going the electoral route. And yeah, I mean, Chavez mostly just copied him in a lot of ways.
North Korea, sorry. Because there's a lot of cringe in the Latin American left. I have to just say, they're not as based as the North Koreans. There's a lot of cringe. Like, a lot of fucking pro-prostitute, pro-eco bullshit that I have zero patience for. But
wow, so they care about the environment and sex workers.
I have to look past all of that because of...
I mean, wait till he hears that one of the regular programs on North Korean TV is... international developments in green design technology. I mean, how much pro-eco stuff they're actually doing, to use his term here, that I'm not entirely certain of, but they certainly talk a lot about it. Like, I mean, there's interesting stuff on DPRK TV. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is just sucking up to the Kims. But you have stuff where it is basically they have these shows. It's often like documentaries that they've just dubbed, and it's about, like, say, green building technology, like building materials technology and shit like that. Things that have been done in the rest of the world. It's actually, I mean, I would imagine the reason that they're showing all this is because the idea is they want people to be doing it locally, which makes sense anyway, because they have to sort of think out of the box when it comes to materials, because they're being economically strangled by the United States. So, I mean, to say...
Gaddafi as a successful kind of, like, Caesarian socialist, you know? He inspired Michael Parenti's Julius Caesar thing. So Gaddafi, that's why he ranks higher than... Chavez ranks higher than Gaddafi, and these people for that reason. Saddam...
Wait, okay. Does he know what Michael Parenti has said about China?
A bastard, an evil fucker. I'm gonna put him right here. I'll put Saddam right there.
Wait, Saddam is higher than fucking Angela Davis and Trotsky?
Fuck Saddam was a bastard because we have, like, Flame of Liberation running around now because of him. I will never forgive that. Sorry.
I mean, apart from everything else, and yeah, definitely bastard. And for a long time, puppet of the United States. And he very clearly, yeah, well, I mean, the one thing you could actually kind of say for him is strategically is that he really demonstrated what not to do when the most powerful imperialist power in the world decides to come gunning for you. Because what you do not do in that situation is say, yeah, I'm totally defenseless. There are no weapons. You don't need to come here and disarm me. Because the United States will not attack you if they think you actually have a deterrent. That's why it's called a deterrent. Yeah, I was expecting him to like Saddam, actually. I was also expecting him to like Saddam.
Sorry, Saddam. You fucking burn in hell. I'll never forgive Saddam for Flame of Liberation. And you think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm literally not joking. Like, I will go to Saddam's grave and fucking spit on him. Saddam was an evil fuck anyway. His son's Uday Hussein was a fucking fist going around being everyone. Like, fuck Saddam. But these Saddamist people on Twitter are the outspoken piece of shits.
And this does not surprise me, actually.
And this, every time I look at Saddam, I think of them. Aggressive and hostile, and they like to fire the first shot.
But I mean, like, blaming like, his problem with Saddam Hussein is people he doesn't like on social media. Not the fucked up shit, not like what he did to the Kurds. With the help of the United States, it's worth noting, on multiple different levels. Not, essentially sort of opening his country up to attack by declaring publicly that they're totally defenseless. When none of those things. No, because Flame of Liberation, who, I mean, if Flame of Liberation's thing is that he loves Saddam Hussein, like, okay, then I really do not need to. I do not have need to have any further time for Flame of Liberation.
For them, but because we support Iran, they like come at us, attacking us first out of nowhere. These people are unhinged, literally worshiping the corpse of Saddam. If it wasn't for them,
motherfucker, you're talking about worshiping a corpse. Like, you've got Kim Il Sung up there. Like, literally, there's a lot of corpse worship going on this fucking list right here.
Be way more generous with Saddam. But it's like, if this is your representatives, fuck Saddam. You know what I mean? Period. Bashar al-Assad. Yup, that's
how is this motherfucker even on the list?
That's exactly where he belongs. And now I know where to put his father. His father is right in front of him. Assad's are C tier. And I support them out of anti-imperialism. They were very effective statesmen, effective anti-imperialists. I like Hafez's
well, I mean, effective, especially in the sense that they actually collaborated with the U.S. Like, the U.S. would occasionally send people to be tortured in Syria, and Syria would just sort of oblige.
And Bashar is not too far away. So, but they don't belong, they're not like communists, you know, so they're not going to be up here. Nasser, okay. I'm going to do a spicy take.
Nasser was this is his first spicy take ever, gang. He's never done a spicy take. Yeah, of course he's going to put Nasser, like, in C tier here. Nasser was not just not a communist, he was an explicit anti-communist. Hello, Paul Del Melto. You, are you new around here? I don't think I've seen your name, and I just want to welcome you. How'd you find us?
After Hafez. You want to know why? Because Nasser was betrayed immediately after he died. And that's an L on Nasser's part. Because of his...
Wait. It's an L because he was betrayed after. Here's the thing about being dead, is that there's not a whole lot you can do about what people do to you at that point. And I mean, the real L for Nasser was really the fucking 6-Day War. It is, and I have to say, that L was an L for, like, the world on a certain level. Because the 6-Day War in 67 is what completely changed the view of the ruling class of the United States towards Israel. Up until 67, the general view was that Israel was a regional irritant, that it was possibly, they had to make sure they didn't get out of the way. It was kind of nice to have them there, not enough, but not likely to ever amount to much. And, I mean, it was really interesting. If you read, like, journals like Commentary, which these days are just hardline Zionist rags. Like, you can't find anything, you know, even liberal Zionism is not gonna get published in something like fucking commentary. Go back to the 50s and 60s and read commentary, and you've got, like, you've got, like, really serious fundamental criticisms of things like the Nakba in there. You know, it was the 6-Day War, and Israel successfully just humiliating Nasser that made the U.S. rethink it. And what's going on in Gaza right now? Totally, that is the continuing fallout of the outcome of that fucking war. So, I mean, if there's any L we're gonna talk about with Nasser, that's the one. That's the one, like... Oh... Yeah, I mean, he was a strictly anti-communist secular nationalist. And the reason the U.S. didn't like him is precisely that secular nationalist thing. The U.S. prefers sectarians because they're more likely to have trouble, getting on with others and organizing with others, whereas the Pan-Arab movement, I mean... was very, ecumenical. Like, in Iraq, for example, the leaders of the Pan-Arab movement were Iraqi Jews. Actually, like, Pan-Arabism freaked the shit out of the U.S. because it was the possibility of some kind of a united front that was very explicitly based on the idea that the people of the region should be the ones benefiting from the resources they had there.
His influence and his awakening of the Arab world, he's definitely better than Bashar. But as far as who was the more... Okay, as far as who was
if Israel had lost the 6-Day War, I think a lot of things would have been better. Like, because then the U.S. would not have gone all in on them. They would have gone all in on some other evil fucks. But, I mean... a lot of other things probably would have been spared us. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it completely... Nasser got wrecked in that. And the thing is, the U.S. had been trying to find some way to fuck up Nasser, basically since they inherited the Middle East from the British Empire in 1945. They were trying to do that, and it didn't work. And then Israel shows up, who they did not rate as a military power at all, kicks his ass in 6 days. Yeah, exactly. Takes over a whole bunch of territory that they're still murdering people on decades later. Even though we're supposed to pretend that there is a ceasefire in place, which there isn't. Israel is still firing at people. But there is at least some aid getting in. It is much less than they would normally get in a single day, despite the need being massively greater. Like, in a single day, before October 7th, they would get about 500-odd trucks of humanitarian aid. And that's when they had fuel lines working, their electricity was on, and they had running water. And, they had homes, also. And that was not enough. They had to supplement it with smuggling in order to survive. What they're getting now is like 200 truckloads a day for the period of this pause in genocide. Meanwhile, they don't have running water, they don't have electricity, they don't have homes, because, like, all the housing, and I mean, not all of it, but, more than half of it at this point has been completely wrecked. Yeah.
More iconic leader? Who was the more impactful
The one he
leader?
had to win was the 6-Day War, and it is an absolute fucking shame that he didn't.
Nasser, okay? But who was the more effective leader? I think Hafez al-Assad was the more effective leader than Nasser. Yeah, he just wasn't pragmatic, right? Hafez was just an excellent...
Pragmatic. See, I mean, yeah, again, liberal shit. Libs and Fash actually have way more overlap than either of them would be willing to admit.
Excellent statesman, and I have to... It's two different...
And this obsession with statesmanship is a good example of that.
worlds. Saddam was a fucking psychopath. Like, he's got that psychopath mentality. Hafez was cool.
Yeah, that's how we're defining psychopath. Somebody who has that psychopath mentality.
Calculating, pragmatic, no bullshit. kind of guy. And then Nasser is not Saddam. I love Nasser, but we have to understand Nasser made a lot of mistakes, including
like the fact that he ended up on a communist tier list, despite the fact that he was an explicit fucking anti-communist.
he consolidated power. He got snaked in the end. He also was adventuristic. I wish I could just put these as equals, to be honest, but I feel like I just want to make the point that Hafez al-Assad was a more effective statesman. Although Nasser was a better, visionary, Hafez was a more effective statesman, and that, in this day and age, that's what matters more, you know? So I'm putting him up there. Okay, my full list is right here. Now I'm gonna export it, and I'm gonna export it.
Oh, so that's the end of this. Okay, yeah, fuck it.
Alright, I'm gonna export it and post it to Twitter. There you go. Perfect. I exported it and I put it to Twitter. But for those of you guys want to see, this is my tier list. That's a masterpiece, honestly.
Of course he thinks it's a fucking masterpiece. Okay, we're moving on. So here we go. That was the communist tier list from the fake-ass Nazbol motherfucker Has. The most insecure man on the planet. And we got another half hour left to go. Yeah, of course he put it to Twitter. That is the extent of his fucking praxis, is putting shit on Twitter. And I do mean shit. Okay, so we got Sanderhole, Thought Slime posted cringe again. Fosh on why the right can't debate. We've got Keffels, who's going to somehow manage... Oh, you want me to continue the TYT thing? Twaxis? Twaxis. Yes, Twaxis. And then we've got Israel studies after October 7th. That's going to be a long one, though. That is Zionists trying to debate about how to resurrect the reputation of their shitty-ass movement, while the entire world watches in real time what that movement means to the people who are in its way. Keffels on Caleb. And somebody else says no more Keffels. Caleb. Well, I can give you half of what you want. Because this is Keffels on Caleb. So they're gonna suck somehow. Oh, Flower.
This is the story of the award-winning, chef-approved always pan that sold out over 30 times.
The Caleb Mop.
This pan sold out over 30 times, so it's like Jeremy Corbyn. This is like it's a shit sandwich, and the shit is Keffels and Caleb Moppin.
Moppin stuff that I'm about to go over is going to be worth it. I was unaware of how deep all of this went. I have never read the entire expose. I didn't know about the dominatrix stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. So she only just found out about that shit? Fucking BreadTube's been talking about this bullshit for a year and a half now, and she just noticed.
I didn't know that he literally told his wife in leaked DMs that he was planning on quitting Russia today to start a compound in the woods.
Welcome to the conversation everyone else has been having about Caleb Muppet for a year now.
I can't believe that I got this far into a fight with Caleb Moppin without knowing any of this shit, and no one brought any of this up. Even Velvet, you are like a degenerate Voshite, and you have been for years. You don't even remember this stuff. It just got memory hold. I thought you knew.
No, it didn't get memory hold. Everybody else is talking about it. You're just fucking ignorant.
I only knew bits and pieces. I didn't look at the whole thing. I didn't see all of it, but now we're going to. I'm gonna go over all the DMs. It is time for you to see. We'll start at the beginning. So September 11th, Caleb Moppin DMs me for the first time. I might be available for a debate in October. Definitely.
Oh, well, okay. See, this is what I keep saying. The debate chud sphere, to which Keffels belongs, is like the only people who managed to make Caleb Muppet look better by comparison. And here he is completely clowning on her. I'm traveling soon and then I have to cover the UN General Assembly for that job you think I got fired from. What would she need? Hey, River, okay, I'm interested. What would she need a distraction from right now?
Not until September is over. I'm traveling soon, and then I cover the United Nations General Assembly for that job you think I got fired from, and he gave me a little winky face.
Yeah.
So I respond, okay. And then he says, we don't have to debate at all. I don't owe you shit. If you want it to happen, maybe stop being so fucking rude.
Wait, out of nowhere?
To which I respond,
Why the fuck did she buy his book? You can read it for free. Not that you would actually want to. It's absolute shit. But you can get it, the whole thing, you can get it online without paying a penny for it, and I would recommend that. Because...
on to him. That's a bit more rude than me, to be fair. Also, I bought your book. And he said, which one? I said,
so did over 1,000 other people. So he's almost at this point he is on the Graham Linehan tier of bestsellers. Wait, he made lots of money on that book despite the fact that over 1,000 people. That's how that we wouldn't get. That's not a lot of money. I mean, because the amount that you would actually be getting off of that book, if 1,000, I mean. Even self-published, a lot of that money is going to Amazon.
bread tube serves imperialism. And he responds to that, so did over 1,000 other people. I made lots of money on that book. And I replied, I said this so you know that I have put in the time and money to best
why even bother with the debating of the Caleb Maupin? Like, this is what, I mean, these people, these fucking debate chud people always act like this is like the high art of politics or something. And it's like, no it isn't, you're just platforming fascists. I can actually take apart his points way better by just reacting to his videos than you can with him in the room. Because the thing is, I can pause his videos, I can't pause him. And if I did, he'd probably fucking get off on it.
Understand your positions. I don't think your hostility is warranted. I find you to be a fascinating person. I have for many years now since...
Like, okay. A fascinating person? No, he isn't. He's not actually a fascinating person. He's just a schmuck.
Since our first conversations back in 2018. And you responded to that. How much does it pay to harass dissidents like me? Do you get a bonus if I kill myself? I waited a bit on that and I responded 3 minutes later, are you okay? And then he responds back immediately, are you? I'm fine. People like you have done far, far worse to me than you can ever imagine.
I for example, for one example, blocked him when he showed up in my chat. Back when my chat was fucking crickets. He showed up and demanded I immediately debate him. And I blocked him, and he got really, really angry about that and tried to put me on blast. Turfy transmedicalist things from Keffels. I'm shocked. Like, somebody who's, like, doubled and tripled down into just explicit ableism would also be turfy transmedicalist.
People like me, I ask? Pro-imperialist grifters, yes.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she is a pro-imperialist grifter.
Caleb Maupin responds. So I said to Caleb, I'm not pro-imperialist. I've been thanked by the Venezuelan government for my activism in the past. and have always taken an anti-imperialist position in my politics. To which he responds, is gay marriage legal in Venezuela?
He's used this is not the first time he's used this. When he was like making fun of fucking Melinda Butterfield for the fact that she was worried about the fucking transgenocide laws and how it would make it impossible for her to safely do a reading of the book she'd just put out in, say, Tennessee, where some of these laws are in effect. He decided she'd written a book about like the Donbass and Donetsk People's Republics, the sort of breakaway entities in eastern Ukraine. And his whole thing was, yeah, I bet they're really transphobic, so why are you writing a book about them? And it's like... ja, je kan... ik denk je kan die zien, maar je moet... Je gaan fucking lang moet terugscrollen. Dus is 1-2 jaar geleden.
You accept an honor for a transphobic government? Oh my god, I'm telling on you. Does this mean you deserve to be beaten up and killed? Or does that only apply to me?
He keeps on... I've never heard anyone specifically say he deserves to be beaten up and killed. He just keeps on bringing that shit up, like he's just hoping somebody might take him up on it. Because again, he would probably get off on it.
He's so insane. So I responded to him, I think there's a difference between same-sex marriage not being legal and same-sex couples not legally being able to hold hands in public, Caleb. I think you know this too. To which he responds, Venezuela gets lots of military support from Russia. And lots of financial support also. You're totally Russia adjacent. Go apologize for supporting Venezuela right now.
Yeah, like, this is wild. Is this just gonna be reading the DMs? Yeah, I'm gonna continue with this a little bit longer, but I might end up switching to something else.
They're like Nazbols. I could do your job very easily.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, he could do her job very easily, because it is a really fucking easy job. Like, you sit in front of a microphone and you talk shite. I mean, he basically does her job already. He sits in front of a microphone and talks shite. The only difference is, like, she knows the rule of thirds, so her camera work is better.
To which I just responded to him.
I mean, no shade. I sit in front of a microphone and talk shite.
I think this is you deflecting from the fact of the matter. And I know deep down this is a subject you feel very conflicted about.
Oh, okay. I'm very interested to see what happens here.
And he...
I don't feel conflicted at all. Oh, God, why does he think that this is a good picture of him? This, I mean, apart from everything, like literally every single aspect of his face makes him look like a completely dodgy bastard in this picture. And yet he uses this. This is the representation of himself that he uses everywhere. With the eye, with the fucking side eye, with the sort of snide grin, like.
He responded to me and said, "You aren't that good at it. I don't."
Yeah, also true.
Don't feel conflicted at all. But if you want to discuss it in October, hit me up.
Well, yeah, I mean, he would like her to hit him up.
To which I just responded with a photo of him and his shit-eating smug grin.
Yeah. Oh, that was she posted. The thing is, he posted. That's like, that is the last I checked. That was like the image, the avatar for his YouTube channel, amongst other things. I mean, it is true. It is a horrible picture of him. It makes him look evil as fuck. It is why, in my unofficial CPI trailer that I did, that's right, I used that picture, but he uses it. Somehow he thinks that this is a good representation of himself.
But it doesn't stop here. Oh no. It actually kept going from this point. So I messaged him on Monday.
It's time to schedule our debate. Why? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
How long was this? Like, last time we talked was September, because he said we could do the debate in October. I said,
Well, yeah. It's...
hi, Caleb.
Why is she so obsessed with getting him on the channel, anyway? Like, just react to his fucking videos.
It's time to schedule our debate. And he said, why?
Yeah, why?
And I told him we were planning it for last month, but life got in the way. He said, I'll think about it. And then I messaged him the following morning.
Good morning, what's in it for me? Like, this is just a fucking disjointed conversation, is all this is.
I said, good morning. He ignores me until Friday.
This is the shittiest fucking game ever. I am never, I mean, like, on the strength of this ad, I am never gonna play it because it looks like it looks absolute shite.
And then says, what's in it for me? So, at this point, I was just kind of sick of him. And I said, I don't really want to anymore. Jackson Hinkle agreed, and he matters a lot more than you. Which is a lie, by the way. I totally said that to get under his skin, because I know he is deeply jealous of the fact that he was one of the first people to talk to Jackson Hinkle about Marxism-Leninism, and he is completely irrelevant compared to Jackson. So, Caleb responded to that, have fun.
Like, this is just a fucking pointless exchange. Like, she managed, he was looking like he was looking dodgy as hell up until...
And then I said to Caleb, thanks. By the way, you still seeing a dominatrix? Betraying your wife like that was really sad. Mishas deserves better, which is the name of his wife. And he responded to me, you are deeply unhealthy if my sex life matters this much to you.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of the fucking things you could say about that, I mean, this is roughly on the level of what Has said. Because instead of, like, caring about the exploitative nature of what he was doing towards members of his cult, who he systematically put into positions where they were dependent on him, and then had them do this for him, they focus in on A, the kink, and B, the infidelity, which, who knows what, I mean, I have not heard his wife, who he lives off of, actually say one way or another. For all I know, for all I know, she was she was cool with it because, I don't know, she didn't have to deal with his ass quite so much.
I hope you get the help you need eventually. And then Caleb Maupin blocks me. So...
The true art of Caleb Maupin is to block him first.
Immediately following the block, Caleb Maupin makes 2 separate tweets about me.
Yeah, I mean, you walked into this one. But, I mean, yeah, he is really getting very, obsessive about the trans issue. And very openly, transphobic now. Oh, and he's got some fucking AGP in there.
The first one, Deranged Keffels, is apparently quite obsessed with my sex life and wants juicy details. Very disappointed I wouldn't debate her. Pity. No shame in blocking. To which he immediately followed this up with, watch out for people who fixate on the trans issue, either pro or con. I am convinced that a very big portion of those who talk about it nonstop and define their political identity around that issue are getting turned on by it.
Yeah, it couldn't possibly be, for example, that trans people want to live their lives and would very much like it if the state and society let them. Couldn't possibly be that. It's gotta be fucking they're getting turned on by it. Which is really interesting because he brought the trans issue, as he puts it, into their conversation. She was not talking about that. He brought that in, apropos of fuck all. In fact,
Yeah, he basically called me an autogynephile. Like, he called me a fetishist. That follow-up is insane. But I didn't know. The reason that I brought up the dominatrix thing was because I found out about the document from last year that I never read. And I think it's time that we should take a look at it again.
God, this is... Yeah, exactly. Well, he's fixated on it in a very special sort of a way. He's fixated because the trouble is, he has been trying on the one hand... He's been trying on the one hand not to completely turn off naive, gullible, young leftists who might, fall into his net. But on the other hand, he wants to signal to reactionaries that they're safe around him. And that is a completely unsquareable circle. And the result of that...
Nobody likes to go...
The result of that is that he's got to constantly, obsessively find ways to position himself. Although he seems to be giving up on that. He seems to be giving up on trying, like he used to. Every time somebody would point out that he was hanging out and platforming TERFs and shit like that, he would go, "Hey, look at me at this Workers' World Party protest 15 years ago. I was supporting trans rights there. Clearly, I'm a leading trans rights activist, and it's wrong of you to suggest otherwise." And, I mean, it's been a long time since that has been his go-to response when anyone brings up the issue of transphobia. Now, it's mostly he just kind of says, fuck them.
For the dentist's office. Nobody does.
I will say I kind of do. I didn't used to. But my dentist's office now is in Lima, and I love Lima in Peru. And also, they are really, really fucking good on pain management and shit. And just lovely people. And so, I mean, I don't actually like the dentistry part of it. But, I like going to Lima. It's great. Fuck Buluarte.
There are some people, though, that want to be dentists. I think I watched, one of those old claymation, Christmas specials where they got the kid who's playing with the doll's teeth. I want to be a dentist. There are people like that. There are people that love dentistry, that love teeth from the time that they're kids.
No, which is kind of good because we sort of need them, because shit happens to teeth. I mean, that's the reason I ended up having to go all the way to Lima to get mine worked on.
They love teeth. They're playing with the doll's teeth when they're a kid. They study dentistry. They go to dentistry school.
What fucking doll that for kids has teeth you could play with? What kind of scary ass toys did he play with? That there was like a fucking anatomically correct oral surgery doll. What the fuck did this motherfucker play with?
Come dentists. There are people like that, and most of us think those people.
Well, like, what's your fucking point?
People are freaks. And they're weirdos. And most of us will do anything we can to avoid going to the dentist.
I don't think it's because we think dentists are freaks and weirdos. I think it's because it usually involves having a fucking hardware store shoved into our mouths, and often it hurts, and you can't fucking talk properly for several days thereafter. And there are all sorts of scary noises. I don't think it's because people have a personal dislike of the people who become dentists. I think it's because the experience of it is generally fucking freaky. And the reason I actually feel differently about this is because my dentist in Lima gives me midazolam. Which is, it's like, I mean, if you have like traumatic shit dealing with dentistry, it's something worth asking them about. Because it like turns off the part, you're conscious, you have total recall of the thing, but it turns off the bit of your brain that says, holy shit, this is fucked up, and activates your limbic system and your fight or flight response. And so you can get through all sorts of fucked up shit, and you know, you don't freak out. It's really quite wonderful. Yeah, I don't get this. I don't get the new beef here.
We just want to live our lives. We don't like the drill. We don't like it.
Last I checked, dentists do actually serve a purpose of helping us live our lives, because it's hard to live your life when your fucking mouth is falling apart. And sometimes, like, a dental abscess can kill you. So, just a little PSA there. If you think you've got a dental abscess, that's not something to wait on, because that shit can kill you.
However, that day comes when you've got that cavity. That cavity that hurts so bad. Where you can't...
He's bringing structure into his harangues now. He has discovered narrative flow. We knew this day would come, that he would discover how to actually structure his speech, so...
stand it anymore, and you say, God damn it, I gotta find me a dentist.
I had a dentist who was so bad that I had to go halfway across the world to find somebody to repair the damage he did.
Dentist. I got...
His dad actually, it's worth noting, I mean, his dad is not like fucking like proletarian, but he was not a businessman. I mean, I imagine he's retired now. I get like like non-specific about all this because it is trivially easy to fucking dox his father. It took me half an hour to positively identify him. And that came with his fucking, like, contact information and shit. And I'm not trying to dox anybody's dad. Because I know enough that I could easily do that, I am not saying those things. And in case, like, one of fucking Muppets Minions is on here, that's not a threat, that's just principle. I have them. Your guy doesn't. I have them, and I don't fucking, dox uninvolved people if I can help it. His dad, but we can say his dad was not a businessman, he was not a banker, he was not in finance or anything like that. Totally different thing. And, yeah. I mean, in fact, so, just to clarify that, because he also sort of put me on blast about repeating what I had heard on a Thought Slime the Surf's joint stream about his dad being a banker or something like that. And he called me a liar over that, and so I wanted to know whether this is something I double down on and or whether not. And so I verified that, yeah, he was not a banker.
Freak who thinks about nothing but teeth all day long.
What does he think? How does he think dentists work? I think dentists think about other things, too. Does he think that when something is your job, that you think of nothing else?
Who graduated from dentistry school. I gotta find me some tooth expert to pull that cavity out.
What the fuck am I watching? Okay, we're like running out of time here, which means it is time for me to. I'm gonna drop the Discord link in here. Yeah. I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, I know. What does he have against dentists? It's like one thing to say. It's one thing to say it is an uncomfortable experience because they stick all sorts of fucked up shit in your mouth, and it makes all sorts of scary noises, and you're awake for it. But I mean, he's like making it a personal attack on dentists, like there's some sort of like freak show or something. That is the Discord where we can meet and keep in touch in between streams and stuff.
The best dental care I want. That's the moment that is coming.
Now, how the fuck do you know what's in my mouth?
Sometimes on a day off, I like to take a rapid onset mood gummy and really recenter my...
That is the moment that America is facing. Sure.
Yeah, well, yes, because most people in the U.S. can't get dental care.
Most of the time, people would prefer not to think about revolution. Most of the time, people would prefer not to think about communism, Marxist economics. But
okay, so he thinks that deep down... See, the thing about dentistry is, much as people hate going to the dentist, people understand deep down that sometimes you gotta. I do not think that the relationship of like most liberals to communism, whether the actual thing or the fake bullshit that he sells, is that they deep down know that one day you might need some, but they really don't want to, and so they're going to put it off. I don't think that that's how anyone thinks about this stuff. Like, I mean,
cavity is getting worse. And the pain is becoming more intense. And your average store-bought toothbrush ain't gonna cut it anymore.
Where do you think dentists buy their toothbrushes? Like, I mean, they buy them in stores. They're just specialty shops. Dental supply stores.
We are entering a period where you're gonna need an expert. You're gonna need a fanatic. You're gonna need a group of people who give the whole of their lives. You're gonna need...
Okay, so his idea is, like, the CPI are now, what, Ghostbusters, but for, like, fake communism? What kind of pitch is this? What view of revolution is this bullshit? We're not, people who are like revolution. We're not fucking service providers. The whole point of anyone of a revolutionary is to make ourselves dispensable, to show like that there's absolutely no fucking sorcery behind any of it, to help people actually get to these things, to get to the point where they understand this shit on their own. They don't have to, and can organize and know how to do the organizing and shit. Which now caveat, I'm not good at that. I should say I'm absolute crap at it, because I'm really crap at approaching people I don't know. But like the idea that it's just you find. You open up the fucking yellow pages and you ring like the surplus value busters, and they sort everything out, and you just kind of passively sit around. Yeah, I mean, this sounds like some cult shit.
A group of people who believe in this and live and breathe it.
It is time to wrap up for tonight. But I think we're going to continue on this tomorrow. I think we have hit some gold here. This is wild. This is like some of the best Caleb bullshit that I've seen in a while. So we're continuing on it. We're fucking continuing. If you enjoy the stream, please consider supporting the stream by joining my Patreon or leaving a tip. Helps me continue to do work on all my projects that I got going on, like the Kollontai translation, and by helping me cover my expenses and stuff like that. God, stoned. Stoned sounds good. I could go for stoned right about now. A new beef about dentists. And a really weird idea of what, like, most, like, sort of normos' attitude towards fucking communism is. Like, they all think it's like, yeah, I don't really want to go to the communists, but I know I really ought to because my fucking surplus value is getting way too high. I wouldn't, I could go for some stonedness. But anyway, that's for us to look forward to for tomorrow. So let me see. Did I gave you the Discord link? And tomorrow we will continue and find out more about how communism and dentists are the same thing to a guy who does not seem to have a very clear grip on what either of them are. Thank you, Paul DeMelto. Good to see you here. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Always nice to see new people. Thank you to everyone who's joined. I say it a lot, and I say it because it's from the heart. It's really cool that I have a lively chat here. Because I was doing this for so long where there was like nothing but link spam. Yeah, like the only people in my chat were spam bots that I didn't even quite figure out what their fucking game was. It is so cool that there are people who actually show up to listen to my bullshit and talk about it and stuff, and I'm glad. So see you all tomorrow. I look forward to it. 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Yeah, CPI is a professional group who will lead you into the future. I mean, yeah, you could tell from just looking at their fucking rejects, like the fucking Yankee Tanky. Obviously, this